Hi, my name is Kat Kerr, and today we're going to be making these brass and plastic cuffs using black craft plastic by Grafix. Now, if you're not familiar with black craft plastic, it's a strong, smooth, waterproof surface. It's wipeable and heat resistant and also available in white. Now I started off by first cutting the page in half, and today I'm using Amsterdam acrylic inks, their pearl line, and you can see why, because it really comes out beautiful on this black surface. And so I just liberally applied it to the page, and then I took a scrap piece of paper and just pressed on the ink and smushed it and moved it around, creating this delicious texture in a really fast and easy way. Now that the pages are dry, I can cut them down using just a regular paper trimmer. This plastic cuts really easily, and I'm cutting them down to fit the size of the brass cuffs that I purchased. Now these cuffs came already shaped, but I wanted to add a hole on each end just for added security once I add the plastic. And so I just used a metal hole punch to add 2 holes to each end. Now here I'm using a wax and I'm placing it directly on top of the acrylic ink. I want to make sure that that ink does not chip off. And so once that I apply the wax, I just let it sit for a couple of seconds and then I wipe it off with a soft cloth. Next, I'm using this water-based contact adhesive, and you apply it to your surface and then you let it dry until it's tacky, and then you attach your pieces together. So I added some to the brass cuff as well as the plastic, and then once they were tacky, I attached them together. I added some clips to hold it in place. Now when the acrylic ink dried, it left some texture, and again, I didn't want it to catch on anything, and so I ended up sanding it down with a little bit of ultrafine steel wool. And I did this for 2 reasons: so that it would be nice and flat, and also so that I can expose some of that black craft plastic underneath, which I thought looked pretty cool. And once I finished sanding it down, I added another layer of that wax. I let it dry for a couple of seconds, and then I buffed it with a soft cloth. Next, I trimmed off the edges using a pair of scissors, as well as piercing that hole in the craft plastic that I created on the metal. Now for this first cuff, I ended up finishing it by just cleaning the inside with some ultrafine steel wool, threading some waxed linen thread through the hole, adding some knots, and I also added some glass beads just to have some dangles on the end of the thread, and this first cuff is done. For my second cuff, I created a simple leather base. I cut it out, added some dye, and slid my cuff right in, and it's ready for me to wear. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and for more ideas on how to use a Grafix craft plastic in black, make sure you check out grafixarts.com. Thanks for watching.